Hey guys, and welcome to my very small living room. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to style this space using only the existing pieces of furniture. If you ever want to switch your space up and you feel the need to give it like a fresh life, this is a really great way to do it without spending a dime. So maybe you're like me and you just like change every now and then, or maybe you're having an upcoming family function, you're going to be having family and friends over and you need to make more space. Whatever your reasons, I want to show you just a few really practical things you can do to switch up your space and give it a fresh life without spending one penny. Literally investing 1 hour in your room can give you a complete transformation. So here we go. So the first way this room is set up is the way that we typically have our living room set up. This is a very unique room. There is not one long flat wall. The only wall that we have is the one behind me that's painted black, but even then it's got like a jut out on the one side. So there is no really long space in this whole room. One wall has a window that's elevated off of the ground because this used to be a kitchen, so it's not a typical lower living room window. And it also has a door that goes to our backyard. The space in front of me leads right to our front door, and then the rest of the living room is wide open to our dining and our kitchen area. There's also a door that leads to our basement. So there's just lots of quirks and really weird things going on in this space, and we still want to try to make it cozy and warm and welcoming. By having these 2 armchairs with their backs facing the island, it really creates the most feeling of openness in this entire main floor. The backs of the chairs have a low profile. There's wooden arms, so they're not a big bulky piece of furniture. Because there's 2 of them, you can see between them if you're sitting on the couch. It just creates the most openness in this space. By having it set up like this, the focal really is conversation. It's meant to sit down, have conversation, have a coffee together. My husband and I are often in this room in the morning talking about the news, talking about things that we've maybe listened to on a recent podcast or things that are on our minds while we enjoy our morning coffee. This is a really great space for that because truly it focuses on facing the people that you're in the room with and engaging in conversation. We have this faux fireplace behind us that I picked up off Facebook Marketplace last year. And it's just a lovely focal point to have in the room, but it actually serves no function other than looking really pretty. Total side note, I am looking for ideas of what to do inside of this fireplace. It is too flimsy and too small to put an electric insert inside of. I've had an old fireplace before that I stacked a bunch of books inside of, and I had all of the spines facing the back, so just the pages were facing the front. I've had a faux fireplace that I had stacked candles in. I'm just not sure what to do with this one. So if you have any suggestions about how I could treat that space, please comment them below because I'm like fresh out of ideas. It was important to our family that we had one living space in the house that did not have a TV. In this home, we have a living room and a family room. Our family room has our television. The living room does not, which really allows this space to focus on engaging, conversation, just being around one another without the distraction of a TV. With the placement of the chairs opposite the couch, it creates a walkway for us to go from the kitchen over to the door into the backyard, which is where all of our recycling and garbage and all that are. So it really creates for a nice flow there. It also allows us to put one more chair in here for seating so that we don't just have the couch and the 2 armchairs. So option number 2 is actually one of my favorites, but unless there's something to really put behind this sofa, I don't like the idea of opening my front door and walking into the back of the couch. However, I really do like how it feels with the 2 armchairs on either side of the fireplace. having this diamond chair with its back to the kitchen, because it's so open, it just also makes it feel really open and like a larger sort of space between the kitchen space and the living room. But it's just this couch that's right here that makes us not use this specific setup. What I do love about it is it feels much larger. When you're sitting in the sofa and engaging in conversation with people on the armchairs on either side of the couch, it feels like there's a little bit more space between you, and it creates this feeling like the room is bigger than it actually is. One of the downfalls of this layout for our family is we can't leave the mat at the back door, and we have a dog, and in the winter months and in the rainy weather, it's really great to have a mat at the back door so that as soon as the dog comes inside, you can stay there until her paws dry. I don't like the idea of layering that, yucky mat that's going to get really dirty with our area rug. That wouldn't keep me from setting it up like this. In fact, we had it set up like this for the entire Christmas season last year and quite enjoyed it. So if I could just come up with like a really slender solution to put behind this sofa, I would probably consider doing this more often, but I do love the way that it looks other than that. This third and final way to set up the space involves putting the sofa on the opposite side of where it was in the original setup. Am I sweaty? I often do this whole process right before I decorate for Christmas. Before the tree goes up, I always consider, is there a different way that I want to have this furniture set up when I'm bringing a tree into the space and when we know we're going to have some family over during the holidays? So maybe give that a try this year too. Speaking of Christmas, coming up next week, I am starting the Christmas series every week in the month of December. I cannot wait to share with you. We are doing my best friend's Christmas tree, my mom and mother-in-law's Christmas decorating. I'm going to show you how I do my mantle. It's going to be a whole Christmas series, including how to put your Christmas decor away and organize it so that when you pull it out next year, it's super easy to dive into the whole decorating process. I really love this space. Not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite way of doing this space, and here's why. I love the idea of separating the kitchen area with the living area with the whole entire length of the sofa. I really think that that's a lovely way to separate it. It still keeps it open because there's not a wall there. I've always loved the idea of floating a couch instead of putting it right up to the wall, but I've never really had an ideal space to do that. Again, I think it would look lovely if behind this sofa I could put a console table or something just to not have the bare back of a couch visible. The other thing I really love about having it on that side of the room is it creates a walkway on the back of the island. When you come down the stairs from the second floor into the kitchen area, into this main floor space, it provides like a hallway. And that is the least used space in the kitchen. So the whole idea of making it feel like it needs to be open in that particular space to me is a waste of space. So by making the living area larger and pushing the sofa back a little closer to the kitchen, it just feels like that tiny space is being used well, giving more space over in the living area. I hope that makes sense. I also really love having these two armchairs under the window. So like I said, this window is actually not a typical living room window because of this used to be the kitchen. So because it's a higher window, I feel like it's a little awkward. We still treated it with full-length curtains, and I like the idea of, because those curtains go all the way to the ground, I like having the open chairs in front of them instead of the line of the sofa cutting off the curtains. That to me feels really, really lovely. I also really like having the diamond chair in front of the fireplace. It's just my favorite spot for that chair to go. Now, it does need a side table beside it, in my opinion. We do have another one of these glass side tables down in the basement. This came as a set, so I could always bring up that other side table and put it in the same position as there was in the very first setup, so that that diamond chair has a side table beside it. I think that looks really great. I also really like how option 1 and option 3 make the house feel open when you walk in the front door. I think that's really important when you have a small space. It's one of the reasons we knocked down the wall that was right here. I'm actually standing where there used to be a wall, and it's one of the reasons we got rid of it, because when you walked in our front door previously, you literally walked into a wall like 4 feet later. So having it nice and open and welcoming to the living room, I also really like that. So there's like pros and cons to all 3 ways these different rooms have been set up. The point is, you can switch your space up, give it a fresh life without spending 1 penny. Just takes a little bit of moving some furniture around and getting a little bit hot and sweaty. But listen, if you put pads on the bottom of all of your furniture, on the legs of all of your furniture, it will slide across the tile and the hardwood floors really easily. If you have carpet, you can get these little hard plastic discs and put them underneath the legs of your furniture so they slide across the carpet really easily. If you want to move your furniture around, I highly recommend doing those because it just makes it so much easier. Whew, I'm sweaty. Isn't that so easy? Just by taking the time, shuffling your furniture around a little bit, you can create a whole new space. You know, ultimately what I always say is do what you love in your space. Sure, there's principles and tips you could follow that are gonna make your space feel larger or more inviting or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're the one that lives in your home. So you do you. And if you love it set up a certain way, then just embrace that about yourself, because you're the one that's living in this space anyways. Okay, so let me know if you've been inspired to change your room layout at all. Comment below. I want to hear what you did. You guys take care. Have an awesome day. I'll see you next time here at I Am Loved.